Karen Hertz, welcome to the Power Hour podcast where we breed billionaires. Thank you so much for being here today.
Love it, yeah.
I've had the wonderful opportunity of sitting down with you and understanding your business and Holidaily Brewing, gluten-free beer, wonderful. I drink it, and it is just, the gluten-free push right now in the world, I think is only going to get stronger.
Yeah.
And, your background coming from Coors, let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
And, your background starting there, and then how did you get to the point here of starting Holidaily Brewing and the gluten-free beer?
Yeah. I started it as a combination of my education and then my time at Coors and then a personal experience I went through. I have an MBA in entrepreneurship. Never thought I'd start a company, but it definitely helped me when the time came. And I worked at Coors for about 10 years, mostly in distribution. So I got beer from here in Golden, Colorado out to distributors, which really helped me later down the road, and we can circle back to that. And then I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. I was diagnosed first with melanoma and then with thyroid cancer, surgery and radiation treatments for both, and then was told I needed to be gluten-free. Loved beer. Love the craft beer community, especially here in Colorado, but I love sports and beer and just that combination too. And I really felt like that was taken away from me. And I tried some other gluten-free beers, didn't really like the quality of them, and figured if I could dedicate my energy just to making really great tasting, world-class gluten-free beer, there had to be other people out there that wanted to have a beer.
I couldn't agree more.
Just like me.
It's so prevalent today in our society that gluten beer is going to be the big push. I mean, whether or not, it's so funny. We've seen so many different pushbacks on some of the bigger beer brands lately. I mean, we don't necessarily need to get into that, but but I really think the gluten beer is going to be the next big push because so many people are having reactions, maybe even disease or cancers, or and your background in this a little bit, starting with Coors, and to the point today. Tell me a little bit about your time at Coors. Well,
first of all, I hope you're totally right. I'm banking on you being right, literally. I'm hoping that gluten-free beer really is the next place. And I think seltzer exploded, and people drank a lot of seltzer, and I think they felt a little bit better. And one of the reasons is a lot of seltzers are gluten-free. But I think people are going to say, but I want a beer. And Holidaily's hoping to be standing there ready. So we should be primed and ready. But, my time at Coors was getting beer out to these distributors. And so I built those relationships, and I really kept those relationships. So when the time came, we opened in February of 2016 here in Golden. And we had 3 beers on tap, and we were open 3 days a week. And I wasn't really sure, would people come to a gluten-free tap room, an all gluten-free tap room? And by the end of year 1, we had 10 beers on tap. We were open every day of the week, and I was distributing 2 beers out of the back of my Toyota Highlander, to liquor stores and restaurants. And eventually you keep growing and growing, and then we're ready to get on board with distributors. And those phone calls were very easy to make for me, which was very, very cool. And they were open to this concept that is nothing like what they carry. So we're a little bit of icing on the cake for these guys because they sell a lot of IPAs or a lot of beers. And here comes this gluten-free beer that really, we're not going to cannibalize any of their other brands. We get to help them grow.
Yeah, you complement, support, and grow.
Yeah,
totally get it. So you have 3 locations right now. Where are those 3 locations?
Yeah, so we have one taproom location up in Golden. It's at 801 Brickyard Circle. It's a little bit north of Golden. And we have a production brewery right across the street from that tap room. And then we have a second tap room down in the Denver Tech Center in the Landmark.
Yeah. And I think we're going to do a little event at your
Yes,
Landmark
we are.
DTC.
We're going to do a Power Hour event there.
Yes,
so.
and more information to come
I'm really
on that
excited
down the
about that.
road. So what does the vision look like for Holidaily Brewing going forward? I mean, in a perfect world, what's it going to be?
Yeah, I mean, what I say is Holidaily Brewing strives to be the leader and obvious choice for gluten-free beer. So when you think of like a stout, you think of Guinness. I want the world to think of gluten-free beer and then think of Holidaily right there. In short, I say world domination. But more technically, we would we are aiming to be the leader and the obvious choice when you think of gluten-free beer.
And you guys are only in America right now?
Yeah.
Or what, all states?
We're
or?
we're in 7 states, really
Okay.
from about California to Texas, so the southwestern U.S.
Okay.
I'm definitely looking to continue our growth. One really cool thing that's unique we do is there's actually a company called the Celiac Cruise.
Okay.
So they rent out cruise ships, and we're the official beer of the Celiac Cruise. So while we're not in, let's say, Europe, but we are on the Celiac Cruise in Europe.
Oh,
so
wow.
we go throughout there to Alaska, to the Caribbean, and that's giving us some more global exposure, which is awesome.
If any of our viewers ever try this beer on the Celiac Cruise, the
Yeah.
gluten-free beer, let us know. Because, and if you try this beer somewhere else, if you want it in a different state,
Yeah,
let us know.
please let us know.
talk
Let
about it.
Holidaily
Let's
know.
talk
Let
about
your
it.
distributors know too.
Yeah.
As much steam as we can get to get demand and get people to know that there's, really an amazing tasting gluten-free option out there.
Yeah.
That, the more we grow, I think part of the challenge is a lot of gluten-free people have given up on beer. And we want them to know in a blind taste test, people can't tell the difference or can even pick us. So it really just is great tasting beer.
Oh, love it. Karen, thank you so much for being here today. We're so excited to continue watching you grow.
Thank
Your
you.
beer's amazing. Come to the events with
Yes.
us. Try the beer. Let us know how it is.
Perfect.
And we'll continue the conversation another time.
Love it.
All right. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
being
having
here.
me.
Thank you.
Yeah.